Hello everyone, this is Joe for Soft Corners, and today's video is going to serve a couple different purposes. Mainly it's going to be my contest response for the card story, and also is going to serve as a long overdue shout out for them. And then while I'm talking about all that, I'm also going to I believe it was like my second or third video I showed off what I had of the 1958 top set, and I believe sometime after I shot that I picked up like I think 30 or 40 cards in a lot, so I definitely had some more accumulations from that, and this was the next year in the progression of 57 was the last 50 showcase I showed off. So I showed probably about half of these already, so I'm probably just gonna flip through them so there's something to show while I'm talking. But I don't know if I'll flip around like to the backs like I normally do. So before I get into that, I didn't give any, I don't believe in my original video I got into any backstory on the 58 set. So I'll just show off the first card before we get into any of the shout outs or anything. But so it's a 494 card set. I usually give like my thoughts and rankings. Definitely behind 53 and then 55 tops for what my favorite sets of the 50s are. But I would say on any given day, I probably next would either pick this or 54 tops. Overall, just love the colors of the set. I said it's a 494 card set. I believe actually the first 110 cards are actually more so like what typical high numbers would be, as far as maybe being, I think, like a little bit short printed. So I think those are the tougher cards to find, which as I look back through these makes sense, because I have a ton of cards numbered like 300 and 400 and only two that are numbered 110 and less. So the only Hall of Fame rookie in the set is Orlando Cepeda, and there's also three, well, the Roger Maris rookie, which is definitely for non-Hall of Famers is one of the bigger rookie cards, and then also Kurt Flood and Veda Pinson. So so yeah, I'll just start flipping through these as I go on here. So first, for any of you that don't know, the card story, THA card story, is a father-son duo of Matt and Tyrus. At the time I made my video response for John Wayne Bogfan's 1,000 subscriber contest, where he was asking us to name at least 5 channels with less than 500 subscribers to give shout outs to, I had a huge backlog of videos. Some people I've mentioned too that I talked to in the hobby, I don't like to just put stuff on in the background really as just noise. I like to actually pay attention, and I usually watch most stuff sometimes on my phone, and then a lot of times on TV, like through the app on my Roku. But then I like to have my phone right there with me so I can comment right away and like the videos right away, just so I don't forget to do that. So anyway, I definitely had gotten at the point Matt and Tyrus started making more videos. I probably had close to a 50 video backlog of videos, and I know I had watched a couple of their first videos, but then just really didn't get to catch up with it, or I definitely would have included them in that video response. But that's why I definitely want to give a big shout out to him now, because since I got caught up again, and in the meantime Matt reached out to me, asked for my address, because he said they were starting to get some stuff together to maybe send my way, and then when I sent him an email, I included my phone number just if ever wanted to talk about the hobby or anything. And I actually had some pretty long conversations over the last couple weeks, texting back and forth, and Matt's actually been awesome enough. Well, like I said, he initially was saying that wanted to get some stuff out to me, but I know they recently attended the Dallas card show and was looking for cards, asked for my checklist and was looking for cards for me there. And then there's a new hobby shop that opened up near him. Son was asking me what cards I had, because they picked up some stuff, and that's why another reason I wanted to show 58, because I know he sent me a picture of at least I think 12 or so 58 Topps cards that he compared against my checklist and saw I didn't have, so I just picked them up for me. So I mean, that's awesome. And Matt, I know we both said everybody's obligatory response is just that it's not necessary and you don't need to do that, but I know we all feel the same way as far as just this community and how great it is just to be able to send stuff to people, to find a home, to find cards that, you know, will have a good home in their collection, send it off. So again, I'll say none of it is necessary, but again, thank you. Say a little, before I get into their actual response, a little bit more backstory on their channel. So like I said, it's father-son duo, Matt and his son Tyrus. Like I said, it's called The Card Story, THA, then Card Story, based on, I mean, their main collecting goal and I guess point of their starting the video was to try and, THA stands for the Henry Aaron or Hank Aaron. And then, like I said, their main collecting goal to pick up basically every Hank Aaron card, minus maybe some of the autos and relics and stuff, but definitely like the playing era run. They already have a beautiful CSG 3.5 54 Topps rookie, so that's a good head start for the playing run. And then also as a huge baseball fan, obviously I believe he said in his first video, Tyrus, obviously named after Ty Cobb. Middle name is Henry, I believe, after Hank Aaron, and then their last initial starts with A, so THA is also Tyrus's initials. So just great channel. Just the idea of collecting together as a father and son experience just is just really cool. It's cool to see somebody younger like that to have such a interest in it. Like I said, just the idea behind their channel is great, and then the cards they have are amazing. Not even just the Hank Aaron cards, but then I know one of their latest videos they talked about hobby distractions, and that I think showed off. So they're building the rest of the 54 set, all graded CSG, and I think around 70 or 80 cards they're at, but the cards they have all graded already are just fantastic. And I know he was saying for the most part like mid-grade, but I mean a lot of them were 6s or 7s also, so definitely no easy feat, but just great cards they show off. And then Tyrus also enjoys Funko Pops and Pokemon cards, so shows off some of them. And then I cannot remember the name of his channel off the top of my head, but when you check out their channel, I know Tyrus has his own video where he shows, I believe, the Pops and Pokemon cards. So here's the, like I said, the lone Hall of Fame rookie from this set. So I know that went on for a little while there, but that was definitely, like I said, a long overdue shout out for a great channel, two great individuals, and really glad to be able to get to talk a little bit more besides just in the comments of the videos like we've been able to, and glad to call them my friend. So anyway, for their contest, what they're doing is at the totals at the end of each of Hank Aaron's seasons, when it matches their subscriber count, they're doing a contest. So I believe the first one was at 13. I know definitely this one is at 40, and then I know the next one will be at 66. So this current contest is for 40, which was his total after his second year, and I know 66 was the total after his third year, and then I believe 110 after the fourth year. So I think when I hit record here, I think they're at 62, so they'll be coming up on their third contest already. But for this contest, what they want us to do is talk about how or why we got started on YouTube. So I've definitely feel like I've discussed this a little bit in my videos before, maybe not gone into too much detail. I mean, the first urge definitely came from Eric Those Back Pages channel. I know in his videos he always said, encouraged everybody to make content, both for themselves, for future generations, just to have, you know, some documentation. Just, I mean, even that you were around, or just that, obviously, I mean, you may have pictures or mementos or something to remember people by, but at some point excuse me, at some point, once loved ones are gone, I mean, you probably at some point almost forget the sound of their voice. So just even having documentation of that, or just being able to see or hear, I mean, there's that aspect of it. Ultimately for me, it was just to document and just have documentation of my collection. We're already at 14 minutes, so I won't go too deep into this backstory, but if anybody has watched my videos, they know I definitely get long-winded, so I probably will anyway. But so I got back into the hobby in 2013, and for about 3 years or so was just, all I did was just buy boxes. It was just fun to me just to rip packs and just chase big hits, and that's basically all I was really looking for. I mean, not even for the monetary value of it, just the thrill of chasing trying to get the big card, the big auto out of something. And then basically over the next 3 years, on and off, like basically it was almost came to a halt of collecting. Didn't really pick up much for like 2015 and 2016. In 2017, was the year I met my wife. So then didn't really have time for it then either. And then the beginning of 2018, we started looking for houses, and I decided up until that point, just all the stuff I'd pulled from packs, I never sold any of, so I had everything accumulated, and it was a lot. So started selling stuff on eBay. So sold off, I mean, a good chunk of my collection, mainly autos and relics and numbered stuff first. And then still, when I was done with that, once we got our house, I mean, still just trying to sell off what I could yet. And for all intents and purposes, was pretty much just looking to get rid of everything. And then basically in between like 2018 then and 2019, some of my friends started to get into the hobby, which here's another one of my favorites that I have from the set. Probably is my favorite from the set, or one of my favorite cards overall that I own. But once they got into the hobby, then kind of made me want to get into it a little bit. And I still I mean, then I started so much. I didn't have a lot of bigger cards, at least I thought, just to sell on eBay. So what I had left, I started sending the ComC into sport lots, and it was right around the time when, you know, stuff besides just the hits were like, I mean, rookie cards were starting to take off, and like it's not even his rookie card, but I had like a couple between like inserts and the base card, I think like 4 or 5 of the 2012 Prism Mike Trout cards, which is the first year Prism and his first card. So I mean, I think some of those were going on ComC for close to $100 raw. So I was able to build a big budget of stuff. Like I said, once friends got back into the hobby, I wanted to get back into it. So that's what I just basically really where I started, where I'm at now, is what I'll call a self-sustaining hobby, where whatever I only pick up whatever I get out of it based on what I sell, pretty much for the most part. So that's really where I first started with, mainly from ComC at first. I showed off my Bryce Harper PC, what I've left of it, a couple videos ago, and that's really where my collection started going to from there. And then for about a year or so went really I think about a year or so went really heavy, and then I believe it was early 2020 is where I started to I wanted to get into vintage. From videos and just my own research, started researching the sets a lot more and got into it, and that's when I started building the 1960 set. So picked up again a lot from just stuff I was selling on ComC and Sport Lots. Picked up a lot of cards from there, and then started going to local card shows, at local mall card show, when that started back up, when the hobby started to get big there. And that's basically where I'm at now with it. Well, did the 60 set and then finished about half of the 59 set, and then started to get bogged down, and then that's where I kind of started what I'm doing now, just picking up cards from every set. So anyway, I went into that whole backstory because all those different times, from just all the autos and relics and like Hall of Fame relics, and I think at one point, just, I mean, a lot of them weren't even huge cards, but just printing plates, and I think I had like 19 101s or so that I had pulled. And I had a couple Mike Trout autos and just stuff like that there might be a few pictures in my camera roll on my phone of some of the stuff, but overall I have no documentation that I've ever even owned it, and my friends weren't really into the hobby at that point, so like nobody else really have ever, besides the people I had eventually ended up selling to them to, ever really got to see any of it. I mean, I can still kind of remember what most of it was, but and then even like I said in my Bryce Harper PC video, I that was a little before the National, and I had started making content before then, but like right before that I had gotten rid of like 500 or 600 Harper cards, so I really have no full documentation of that either, so that's my main reason for my own collection, for my own purposes. How it started and what it's become is just to document, and then document additions and everything like that to my set. I've long, since watching YouTube, I've long heard everybody talk about the community and talk about their experience that way, and going to the National together and talking to people outside of the comments that you share text messages with, or all that stuff. And I definitely thought that seemed awesome. I just myself didn't think it would ever come to that, just because I didn't think anybody would really, care about my collection that much, or what I had to say or anything. So but that was a main reason, just in case anything like that would happen, why I wanted to start my channel before I went to the National. So at least some people had some knowledge of me, and then so I could introduce myself to some people there, which I did. And I'll mention Dom Staven Sports Cards always mentions in his videos, that was his main reason, is just to get that network and get that being able to meet different people, and just so you have the people to talk to and have the resources if you have questions, or they can bounce questions back off you. So definitely, to round out what it's become, I never thought it would become what it's become for me, as far as the personal connections and friendships I've made. And like I said, I've always heard people talk about that. I just didn't really ever think anybody would find that kind of connection, I guess, with me. I don't know. But so I know that's a very lengthy response, but actually timed it out pretty well here with the 58 tops. This is the last one I have. I forgot to mention, I think I have 77 of the 494 cards, so it's just a little over 15%. So definitely, I mean, the earlier 50s set's not as big. This is I believe 57 went up to 407. This is 494. So from here they just keep going up. So, but yeah, that's pretty much my response. Like I said, for the card story. I mean, the main reason getting in was just to document my own collection, and then kind of hope to build some of those relationships. And like I said, it's been more than I ever would have imagined, and just appreciate all the support, all the friendships I've made, all the comments, anybody that watches it. Just really means a lot to me to think anybody cares enough to just want to see my cards or hear what I have to say. So I want to point out, I did forget, Matt had texted me. I know we started talking about 55 tops, and they told me I should start showing off my Koufax and Killebrew graded rookies. So that's for Matt, that's for you to show off in the back here. I want to do that for your video here. Like I said, if you are not subscribed to them, go check them out. Like I said, the idea of their channel is just great. I think you can follow them in their journey, try and pick up all the Hank Aaron cards they can, and it's just really neat watching, like I said, a father and son duo like that just make content together. So anyway, again, Matt, thank you for reaching out to me, and thank you for your friendship. Thank you for this contest and for a reason to talk for 25 minutes like I did here, but just thank you, and I'll just leave everybody with, just remember, every card can be a great looking card, even if it has 4 soft corners. Thank you.